Well, after all this dinking around, we're ready to sand. It's gonna look real good because it came out real nice. And how I'm gonna do that, let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what I'm doing. That should be good. Looks like it's time to take the trash out again. All right, this is 80 grit. We'll get it on my little polywog here. I guess I ought to get a link for these polywogs and put it into the description. Matter of fact, let me do that now. I'm going to put the polywog link in the description because they are a must-have. Let's see here. Amazon sanding. Sanding profiles. Or did I already? Say ND sanding PR sanding profile blocks. I think I already put them in there. That's 11 piece, 21 profiles. Yeah, I think I put them in there already. So we won't worry about that. Now I'll do that after the sanding's done. But you really need to get some of these rubberized, I call them polywogs, they're standing profiles as the and if you're going to buy them, please use my link because I get a little bit, very little, for recommending them. I'm trying to build my Amazon. This airplane's gonna look like Keith Marin's bean bomb from Cheech and Chong. When I'm done, they're gonna have pink and purple primer spots all over Chi-Chi ball. Hey, if you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe. But if you're going to subscribe and unsubscribe, don't subscribe. I'll give you a little trick here, or a little secret. We went around the bottom of this with blue tape. You got to sand. Thank you, Colin. You got to sand until you see the blue tape. Otherwise, you'll have a hard time getting the bottom line straight. You know what? Let's move this camera to this side. That way you'll be able to see the front when I do that. Okay. Thank you. So, uh-huh. Sando the bando. Gotta stop there. I don't want to dig a hole. I think that's fiberglass there, but I'm seeing wood. Well, all right. This is the wrong paper. No wonder why. We got to have good paper. I got to have 180, not 320. 320 would take me forever to stand. I might have went too far right there. We'll see. I think I got this in one shot. I don't think I'm going to have to superfill anything. I think I got enough filler on it to do this in one shot. I just watching Carl Fisher from Make It Custom. He does what with metal what I do with wood. He ain't no bad Chad, that's for sure. Go to the other camera. Come on, where'd you go? I wonder if the trash man has emptied the trash. I need to empty my trash. The moment of truth is going to be coming here in a second. We're going to shoot some primer on it and see how bad it looks. Got to look perfect in primer. It'll take me the rest of the day probably to get this straightened out. I'm sanding up on the tapes to try to thin it out down to the blue line. All I can do is hope. Now I've sanded through this white paint here. So the first thing we're going to do is paint it white, then primer it. Everything's reversed when you're doing inside outside. Get this tape off here and retape it. I got to get this tape off today. It's pretty painless. I mean, as long as you know the steps, not too hard to do. That's a problem. That's a problem. I know why too. Both sides, I got it. I gotta paint that white. Otherwise, we'll have primer inside the cockpit. We don't need no stinking primer in there. Okay, we don't need no mistakes on this airplane. Five people, that's all. Okay, let's hit some white on those spots I sanded through. What I do with that? Yeah, too much. Sando the bando. Yeah, oh man. Every time you sand through that, you got to paint white first because everything's backwards. White or whatever color your airplane is. That was a nice thing about doing the Thunderbolt canopies is because it didn't matter. The airplane was silver or a gray. And if I sand it through, I just prime it. It don't matter. And you couldn't tell. Now we're going to go for this U-Pull sand primer. Link in the description. All right, that looks good. It's going to be perfect. Perfect. Ooh. You get the primer on thick enough to fill the scratches, and then you're going to sand it off with 320. See, here we are on a hold again waiting for this primer to dry. It doesn't dry as fast as DC 540, so there's not as much toxic shit in this primer, but it beats the hell out of Harbor Freight primer and Duplicolor primer. We're going to be sanding this whole airplane, the whole thing again anyway. And we'll get that coat of sealer white on it. And then by then, hopefully my blue fine line tape will be here. Link in the description. I'm still debating how I want to do this. This is going to be, yeah. So first we're going to put yellow on it. So this will all be yellow. And we're going to have red and orange. And I'm thinking about going ahead and doing the checkerboards, even though I've done them quite a bit. I think we'll break it right there on the sheeting edge, on the leading edge sheeting, so that it starts out big and tapers down. That's going to take hand-taped checkers instead of stencils. Unless I can figure out how to do that. I'm sure there's a way to do that in the program. I just don't know how to do it. No, not a G60, V60. One of these bad boys right here, V60. Here we got. There you can see that. This one's not as dirty. The other one's a better engine. The dirty one's a better engine. That's why it's dirty. V60. Morning, Roy. So while I wait for that primer to dry, I guess we can stand. Oh, it's the wrong stuff. This is the right shit. Come on now. Let me wipe that shit off. Chlorine in it. Come on. There we go. See here. We still got to steam this flat straight. You will. You were here, you could hear it changing tune. And when the tune goes away, that's when you're done sanding. Right there. Is stuff drying up yet? Nope. It's still cold. And how you can tell if it's dry, not only is it dry to the touch, it's warm. It's not cold. Like this is cold from the propellant still, so it's not dry. Let's see what it said here. For twin control line, is one engine angled in and the other one out? No. No, straight ahead, 0. Of course, if it was me, I'd have them both pointed out, but I do things different. The best guy to ask about twins is Bob Hunt. I don't have an extensive amount of experience with twins. I think I've only built one in my life. And it was back when I was a kid. So it was a toy. It wasn't, a precision aerobatics airplane. And what you're trying to do here is you're trying to sand all the shinies out. This is 800 grit sandpaper. When I'm ready to paint this, it will look like it's made of plastic. Well, the Carumba and the rest of the airplanes got a decent finish. I call it a serviceable finish. This airplane, I'm shooting for a top-notch finish where the base has to be, how can I explain this? Okay. Let's switch this camera here. This airplane here while having a good finish on it, it's quite good. It's not a concourse finish. It's I call it a serviceable finish. Something that you can, use and it'll be fine. It's a good finish. It's, in the local contests, this is a concourse winner. In the local contest, I'll guarantee that I win a concourse trophy in the local contest with this. This would not win a concourse trophy at the Nats level. So you got to step it about 10 notches. So basically, you got to spend as much time finishing as you did, or twice as much time finishing as you did building for a Nats front row finish. And as I've said many times, just because you're on the front row doesn't mean you win the concourse. Not ready yet. The only thing I don't like about this primer, it's not as fast as DC 540. At DC 540, I'd be sanding and adding another coat already. But it does work good. For the average guy, shoot it on and come back in a half an hour. It's probably just fine. This is 400. Remember the Jim Lynch adage. If you can't put it on and do it perfect, leave it off. Got a guy at the Nats the other year who was 2 rows behind me with a better airplane. I didn't get that. Craig Gunder has his big red airplane. Well, it's very, very plain, the airplane. It's very, very good. Some of you guys may know Craig and the airplane I'm talking about. However, the airplane I'm talking about is very, very heavy. But it is very well built and very well finished. Let's see where we're at as far as weight goes. I hope we're at 35 still, which I doubt. No more than 36, maybe 36 and a quarter. It means I don't have much left. I do not have much left. What the hell? $36 even is where we're at. You can't see it. $35.95. You can't see it. $35.95. I wish it was finished at 30. It'd be 56 ounces at $35.95. This is going to be a 60-ounce airplane. Just no way about it. No way around it. But Hunt says he flies this wing at 64, so we shall see. Oh, you mean The pull saw, huh? Let's see here. Okay. There we go. It's cheaper here than it is where I bought it too. Get a link. Copy. All right, let's see here. Dashboard, content. I keep adding these links to these things. I mean, pretty soon the description box is going to be full links. I'll have to separate them out. Enter, Control V. And here we want to do this. It goes away. Copy details for the pull saw. Control V. Save. There you go. It's the first link after save. After the well, it's a third link. It's a third line down in the description for that pull saw. Hope that helps. You'll love that saw. It's my favorite tool. Remember, it cuts on the pull. It doesn't cut on the push. So if you're trying to cut on the push, you're kidding yourself. Yeah, I think maybe I can start sanding this. Okay, we need to do 320 for that. I think it'll take probably 3 rounds on getting this completely molded in perfectly. 3 sand outs. No, maybe not. Maybe 2. You want to sand till it disappears. Oh yeah, that's gonna work good. Perfect. Perfect. I think maybe just one. We'll have to see what it looks like, but I think just one sand out's gonna do it. I tell you what makes that Irwin saw so much better than a Zona saw. It's made for hardwood. A Zona saw is made for balsa wood, and they don't last for shit. I'll probably get a quarter. Let's see, 2% of 15 is $3. No, is that right? I'll get 30 cents. Let's see how that works. But every bit helps, so Amazon notification. Let's see here. By today, it says they're gonna. My tape is arriving today. Okay. Calculate this. Cleared. 15 point times 0.02. I'll make 30 cents on it. That's better than nothing. So you guys help me out, and it doesn't cost you nothing. And please be careful with that saw. Very sharp. Very sharp. Very thin, too. I don't have my micrometer up here. I would say that this is probably 15 thousandths. 15 thousandths thick. It cuts on the pull. Them teeth are wicked. Wicked sharp. Now I got a bigger one. That's a fine tooth blade. But I got a bigger one with, I mean, it's got it's a full saw. It's got a blade on it about yay long. Oh, you can't see. Probably 18 inches long. That's probably 6 inches wide. But that's, I mean, it'd work on this. It's just too much to handle. It's made for my garage working cabinets. Cabinetties. Try to get this off here. Where are we at as far as time? Yeah, we got plenty of time. Remember, sand the primer off. You don't want to carry around this shit. We're just using it to fill the load. I normally do not use primer, since I found this stuff and we're looking for a front row finish, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'll let you know in 10 years what I think of it. Of course, it'll be out of production by then, probably. I better get some more tape on that. Don't want to paint the glass primer. Okay, that's one side done. Get ready for another coat of primer on there. Yeah, it's starting to load up, so. We're going to get that tape off there in this session. Then retape it. Now I could do some pretty neat things. I could paint it black, and that way it would have the banding on it. And then set the tape back and paint it white, so it'd be white with a black band around it. I don't know, I want to go through that. I've already went over the top on some of this stuff already for this airplane. Get a new piece of paper. You look right there, see that line right there? I filled that line. It was a low, so that'll be good. I hadn't intended on it, but that was an unexpected consequence. And get some ATX and wipe this off, and then we'll shoot another coat of primer on it. And I think that's going to do it, but we'll see. ATX, where are you? That's xylene. ATX there. You know, I've made some pretty bonehead mistakes. I'm looking for ATX and grab the thinner, and without even thinking, pour the thinner on a rag and start wiping. Talk about a disaster. That's a disaster. It seems like the more comfortable I get, the more mistakes I make. I bet it takes two. Can't possibly get done in one. I don't see me being that good. So that's how thin the primer is. It's on there like nothing. Let's see. We want to put a piece of tape on that so I don't get any primer on the glass, which is going to happen anyway. So I hope this stream has helped you. Got a little spot there. Realize how to get the canopy on to look right. Ain't nothing worse than the canopy that just looks glued on. It's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to look like it's part of the airplane. Needs a little bit of work back there yet, so. There's going to be a third go round. There'll be a third go round. Let's zoom it in and show you. Do you see how the canopy looks like it's molded, which it is, into the fuselage? And that way, when you paint this thing, you can paint the start and stop lines anywhere you want to make it look right, because there's no start and stop line where you just set it on and glued it. That don't look good. Yeah, you're gonna take one more sand out. So let this dry and I'll sand it again and hit it with some more primer. This side is good. I think this side is good because I could get at it. No, it's not good. I can see a shiny line. This side is better, so this side is shaped okay, but it's got a shiny line on it. So let me hit it with a little more primer so I can have some more room to sand out. Would like this to be the final go around. You darn thing. Well, it looks good with paint on it, though. That's probably going to be all right. It looks good with a shine on it. It looks like it's molded correctly. Yeah, it's got a little bit. I can't tell whether that's the tape line or the body line, or I think it's a tape line. All right, it's a matter of waiting now. We've been on an hour, so I could end it here and wait for it to dry, sand it, shoot some more primer, whatever it takes. You know, ever how many sand outs it takes, it will be perfect before I untape the canopy. So instead of babbling on and on and on, I think I'll end the stream. Yeah, we still got a line right there, but that's going to have to be got out with 400. We'll let it dry real good, hit it with 400, get that line out, and then dust it on, and that should do it. Got a line back here too. And 100% trust me, if you can see it in the primer, you will see it in the paint. So it has to look like plastic before you paint it. You'll notice back there I had some little spots. Pretty good. Put it on, sand it off, put it on and sand it off. These are a contentious spot right here. You know, the tips on the stabilizer, they always look like shit. It's a hard area to sand, and it's a hard area to paint because there's no. I can see a little spot. I need some aqua green, just a little dot. And we'll get that. Now, Gene Martin told me that he drove himself crazy trying to get a 20-point finish. I am not going to do that. I will be more than happy with 19. And the effort that I'm going to put into this airplane is 2.5 times more than I did on the Carumba, or Simply Blues, or the orange one. I haven't put this much effort into a finish since the Monado. And I did that finish on the Monado for Jim Lynch. I took it down to Paducah and showed him. He loved it. I'm even going to see if I can make the mistake again and shoot the gold flake in the clear on this. The gold flake in the clear on the Monado, you cannot see indoors. But you take it outside and set it on the ground, it has that, I don't know, it's not pearlescent, it's a glisten to it. It's gold flake. The whole airplane is gold flake. But you can't see it unless you look at it real good. And we're going to try that with this one too. So it'll be yellow, red, orange, black, white, and green, all with gold flake over the top of it. And they're microscopic gold flakes. Microscopic. You guys got any questions on this before I wrap up? I just noticed I might have made a mistake. We shall see. I might have to cut all those lines because I used crepe tape. Damn, why didn't I use plastic tape? I gotta get these off, set it back if necessary. Oh, we're almost dry. Almost dry. Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch. Damn. All right, that's the end of the program. For products used, check the link in the description. We'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.